still a thunder. Wake up at the right time. Looking at my lifeline. You say you was fine.
On and on, we gotta keep it up. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Lifeline with AJ and Vincent. My name is AJ.
I'm Vu.
He's our special guest today, and today we're going to be talking about being an Asian American, basically anywhere, but mostly in college because it was different from when we were in high school from when we were in high school to when we went to college. I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like when we were in high school, it was pretty diverse, but like it was still predominantly white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then we went to college and it was completely different. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
demographic was. So he went south, he went to Richmond, and then I went north up to Philadelphia. So we have a lot of different viewpoints on the topic. But before we get into that, Vu, if you want to explain what you're about, like introduce yourself.
So, I'm Vu. I was friends with Alan since I think 7th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was called Alan when I was in high school.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, sorry. I would try to refrain myself to saying Alan, but AJ.
Yeah.
I've known
Yeah.
AJ since 7th grade. We've we had history together and stuff like that, and then we really connected. But ever since then, we've been writing out our high school and middle school life together. So I'm really glad to be here with him, and I'm really honored to be on a podcast with him that he made. It's dope, dude.
Yeah, thank you. It really is my baby. But yeah, if you don't mind, let's just diving right into it. Let's just try to explain a little bit about how high school went for us and try to explain if being an Asian American kind of affected us in a way. So I know for me, I didn't really acknowledge my Filipino heritage that much. Like I would keep it very separate from school and home, and cause I didn't have that many friends that were Filipino. So in our whole class, our whole senior or our whole class of 2018, there were 5, and I was not friends with any of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty hard for me to keep my if I were to keep my heritage in school, but I would just kind of assimilate in that kind of way. And I don't know if that was like that for you, but
For me, I mostly hung out with a diverse group of people. I never had a friend group that had with just one race. I bounced around a lot. So I had friends who were white, friends who were Asian, friends who were more white people.
Yeah.
But it was our school was mostly white, and then I think the next dominant race was Asian.
It was Caucasian.
Yeah, sorry.
And then it was Caucasian, and then Korean,
Yeah.
and then Viet, and then the rest. Because we didn't actually have that many African Americans.
Yeah, we had I think in our grade we had at most 7.
Really?
Yeah, maybe less.
Yeah,
Probably
it was
less.
It was not. I don't know. It was just not a very.
Yeah, we just didn't come from our area in school. Just didn't come from a background where a lot of African Americans would live in that area.
Yeah,
So-
but then the district, the way they districted,
yeah,
all
was
the
really
African
weird.
Americans or a lot of them went to the other adjacent school.
Yeah,
So it was just the way things were districted.
yeah.
And they changed that while we were in middle school, going into high school. So it was just weird for us. But I mean, not to say that they weren't there, but it was just not a very, it was diverse, but not in that sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not in a sense where you see it.
It's only white people.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Not-
it's a sea of then people, and
Yeah.
then you would get to pick out the different groups of races. So you see the Asians over there, or the African Americans over here.
Yeah, and it was
stuff like that.
definitely cliquey.
Yeah, it was
And I'm pretty sure it didn't they didn't mean it that way, but they definitely had their preferred race.
Yeah.
You know?
But I wouldn't say it was mostly based on race. I would say it was mostly based on activities that they did. So
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
so like what like again, like we had a lot of Caucasian people. So when Caucasian people, like, let's say, like, take the basketball team for an instance, we had like a lot of African American people still like like be in the same group as like Caucasian people. So they would like it was mostly like it was very cliquey. I agree that our school was really cliquey. And it was, some of it was race based, but a lot of it was based on like what activities we all did.
Yeah, it was like either what activities we all did or like if you grew up in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like I mean that is how it is like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like we couldn't get away from it that like Caucasians were like that's where we live. That's Northern Virginia. You know what I mean? Like we can't get away from that. But just to get back on topic, how was it like did you try to separate your home life from school in terms of your heritage, or
I personally didn't think that my heritage was separated from my school life. It was, and I think that was just mostly based on like I did a lot of things with my culture. So I did like
yeah,
I did like Vietnamese Boy Scouts. I learned a lot about my culture. I did Vietnamese school and all that stuff.
yeah,
So like I was very well educated in my culture, and I guess like in a sense I took a lot of pride in my culture.
yeah.
But like I never really made an effort to show off my culture in a sense because I thought that my high school wasn't, I wouldn't say ready for it, but like my high school just wouldn't be really interested in
Yeah,
my culture.
that's like the best way to put it, cause like, for me, I think because there weren't that many like outlets for me to show or like to learn about my culture other than my family. So um, like it's not like they weren't ready for it, but like they would just like it'd be like a party trick.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, "Oh, you're Filipino?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." They'd be like, "That's cool." And then they move on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it was hard for me to just like accept, like I accepted my culture, but like it took, like when I went to college, it took it to like new levels when I started joining like
definitely.
Filipino organization. And it
Yeah.
was just like being with the type of people that have lived similar lives to you. Yeah, but like I mean, for you that was like not an issue.
I think it wasn't an issue for me because
Like in high school.
In high school because like I think it's different from your situation with mine because I had more Vietnamese people at our school.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
like your issue of having like not a lot of outlets, it didn't really come towards me because I had a lot of friends who were Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So and the funny thing is that like in Vietnamese culture you have like, of course you have like Vietnamese Boy Scouts, but you also have like if you were Catholic or Christian, you would go to the Vietnamese Christian church stuff.
Yeah.
So like they're fairly similar. So a lot of Vietnamese people did the exact same thing.
Yeah, it was just I was just not blessed with that kind of stuff. Like I was Catholic, so
Yeah.
like biggest religion, but like here it's all Caucasian people.
Yeah.
Like no, like Northern Virginia does not have, it just doesn't have a lot of Filipinos. So that was just like I was like given the short end of the stick in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's understandable.
Yeah, so like I mean it's whatever. Like it doesn't I wouldn't say it affected me like in like emotionally or physically or anyway, cuz like my parents like they did a really good job of making sure that I knew where I came from. Like when we went on a trip to the Philippines, we went like straight to the farms like that we own. Like we still own land there. And we got to see like where our family came from. And that was really nice. And like we still like eat all the food. Like our house is pretty Filipino. Like it has like a smell to it, you know?
Yeah.
So there's that. But then like they also did a really good job of like making sure that we weren't gonna be like left behind because of our culture. Like they put us into sports, they put us into like everything they needed to, just to make sure that like we had friends that we could open up to, and that helped with like me doing band, me being a swimmer. So like in the sense that you did all your Vietnamese things, like your church, your clubs and stuff. I did the same thing, but like I wouldn't have people of the same race
Yeah,
in
yeah.
mine. I'd just like have my swim friends and I'd have my band friends, and then
Yeah.
we'd be
Yeah.
on the same way.
Yeah. And like it was just like a, I wouldn't call it a shame, but like it's really like it's just really like, oh, the luck of the draw that like
Mhm.
sadly that in our area we don't have a lot of Filipino people.
Yeah.
So like and like Filipino culture is like, it's great. I
Yeah.
love Filipino culture too. But like it's like, and like just like, but like hearing like what you're saying, it's like it's understandable and stuff like that, and like I can like it like it feels, you know. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
in a sense I also feel the same way, because when again like I did all this Vietnamese stuff, but it was out of school. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like in high school I did like what, orchestra.
Yeah,
It's like the most common, like playing the violin, most common instrument for like
you
Asian
had
kids.
hip hop club.
Yeah. Yeah, but like and then like we had a very short membership of like our high school VSA, but that wasn't like,
Yeah.
that wasn't anything. That like died after a while.
Yeah, no, like I wish there were like cultural organizations
Yeah.
in high school. But like the fact of the matter is like high school is more about assimilation rather than like finding other people like you.
Yeah.
It's more like, oh, this person's like this and he has a lot of friends or she has a lot of friends, so I should be like that.
Yeah.
And that's just how high school is. That's just like how teenagers work, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but like as we move on into the college portion of this, why I like look back and I would think I would appreciate the Filipino club is that like I walked into the first Tupac meeting at Temple University, Philippine American Council. I walked into the first Tupac meeting and I was immediately just like greeted, like some people gave me hugs and I was just like, that's Filipino culture. And I like
Yeah.
like and I knew it was there. I just have never felt it like in like my school setting or like a social setting other than my family. And that was really good for me because I was like, if this is what like my culture is, why the heck have I been like suppressing it all these years? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, and it's not even like I was suppressing it. It's just like I wasn't like very open about it
Yeah. Yeah.
because like I never had the opportunity to be open about it. Like if people had asked me questions about my culture, I'd be like, oh yeah, this happened, or like this would happen, and then that'd be the end of it. But yeah, I was so glad that like we had that at Temple, we had this organization because I met so many great people. I learned so much about my culture, and yeah, now like, how was it in VSA for you in college?
So for me in college, or coming out of high school, I knew I wanted to join VSA, or like Vietnamese Student Association.
Yeah.
It was like, it was a very big part because I was like, oh, that's like the next step. You know, I came into college thinking that like, oh, I'm going to be super active in Vietnamese Student Association, or VSA. I'm going to like go to all the events, going to make like new friends and stuff like that. But for me, it didn't happen the way that it did for you, because the way that my VSA experience happened was after the first semester. So
Really?
yeah, so I was in VSA and a lot of people knew me, but that was also because of like my like of like me knowing a lot of people back in the Nova area, and because the school I go to is we're in state.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
so
yeah.
a lot of so and it's a really big school. Like VCU is a really big school. So like a lot of Nova kids come down, so they know like oh you did Vietnamese scouting, oh I did too. It's like it's a lot like all the Vietnamese people came from the same area practically.
Yeah.
And we all practically did the same thing. So a lot of people like knew of my name
Yeah.
because of like how active I was, like, you know, back then. But I didn't really participate in Vietnamese Student Association or like my cultural stuff until like second semester, after like I got done with all my like dancing stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely like, that's very respectable.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, because when I that was not like that's not like a luck of the draw thing. That was just like your priorities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like my priority was like obviously it was school, just like because I was there to study, but I knew that I wanted to make friends, and I didn't even want to go to this like Filipino organization. Like it was just because like my cousins did it, my sister did it, my parents or not my parents, like my uncles and aunts did it. Like I felt like it was just like the thing that I had to do, and I was like, why not just give it a shot? Even though like before I went to the meeting, I had like zero friends. Like all I would do is stay home and like or stay in my dorm and watch Game of Thrones and then cook pasta and then sleep. Like I had no friends other than like my roommates who aren't really or the other two weren't my friends, but like my actual roommate was my friend and he was really cool. But in terms of like going to the meetings, I didn't even like I didn't know a single person and like being welcomed in that space was just like it was extreme. It was eye opening, and it was just like a sigh of relief for me because I was just like I was not expecting it, and it was great, and like it was just like the best thing that could have ever happened to me in college.
Yeah.
Because now that like now I have like my friends from Tupac, like most of my friends from Temple are Tupac, because like that's just how it is. Like it's just because I put like I didn't put my heart and soul into it, but like it's just like that like I would always make it a point to like go to meetings.
Yeah, it was your forte practically.
Yeah. Like cuz I tried doing swim club and I didn't like it because I don't know, it was just like too lax for me. And then it was just I just loved the people in Tupac, and they like I cannot thank them enough for having such an open environment where like they were like not they were like Filipino, but they were like woke Filipino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so like they know like about mental health. They're not gonna like shy away from like the new issues. You know what I mean? That like it's not like being in a club with your parents.
Yeah.
It's being in a club of like the same people all around, and it's like it's great. There's like and it's like so diverse, even though that we're all the same race. Like they bring in people of different races. Like we're all in different majors, and it's great. And I don't know how that is for you with VSA.
It's for me. It's practically the same thing. It's like a lot. When I first came in, I felt like, oh yeah, like a lot. They're all welcoming and stuff like that. Like we again like a lot of the people, yeah, they hugged each other and stuff like that. They made you feel like pretty much like welcomed in the club. But again like I feel like for cultural orgs, you choose to be active.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So I chose to be active in like my dance team during first semester because those were the people I gravitated towards in the beginning of my college years. So so like right at the beginning, they were super friendly, and they like really made me feel at home at my new school. So when I would pick the group of friends I would like hang out with, it'd mostly be my dance team.
Yeah.
But the thing is that my dance team like friends were also part of like VSA. You know, so like we had all dabble in like different types of clubs, and like I knew that for me, I would go back to VSA. At least like I knew for like at least second semester because we have like culture show and everything like that.
Yeah.
So like it for me mostly like when I came into VSA, it was kind of my like I knew I was going to do it, so I wasn't really worried about like not finding people to like hang out with and stuff like that, because I knew that like I would try to like befriend a lot of people during VSA and stuff like that. I think that like my VSA experience is extremely different from yours because I experienced from like Tupac. Because like I just didn't have the very very strong connection with the people right away.
Yeah, no, okay, so I'm like the type of person to like radiate the energy that is given to me, right? So like when everybody was super nice to me, that just like it's like unlocking a chakra. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm so my personality type, I would probably describe it as like an introvert that has extroverted tendencies, right? So I can turn it on like that, to like be social, but I do need my alone time. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So like at that point when I went to the first meeting, it was like I've been alone for like probably like a few weeks, probably a month maybe. And then I was just like, I'm so ready to make friends. And when that happened, like when I walked in, and everybody was like, "Yo, what's up? Like, this is Tupac. My name is blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
And then like just learning more about, and it wasn't even on the first one. So I went to the first meeting. I was only there for 10 minutes because I had class, and yeah, they messed with my schedule the first semester,
Yeah.
man. It was like they gave me a 5:30 to like 8 class. I was like,
Oh
mm-mm.
my god.
I was like, mm-mm, that's no for me. But
okay.
but anyways, besides that, I went to the first meeting. I only stayed for 10 minutes, but then I went to the field day. Like, did you guys have a field day like where we literally just played like outside sports against like VSA, ASA.
Oh yeah, we live in the city, dude.
So do we. What do you mean? We're Philadelphia,
shoot,
man.
you're right. Yeah. I don't know. We don't have any like parks near us. Like down in
Really?
Richmond. Yeah, it's like it's any. We have Monroe Park now, but that was under construction during like the first semester. So like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's so smart.
Yeah, so we had field day, right?
Mhm.
And then I woke up and like I told my roommate, like my roommate was awake, and I was just like, bro, I don't want to get out, man. like it's so hot outside, and like we had to wear yellow, and I don't really like yellow, and it was like the most arbitrary things, and I was just like, bro, I don't want to deal with this right now. He was just like, well, it's your choice, man. Do you want to make friends? And I was just like,
dang it.
I was like, you're pretty great, Derek, but
You got me.
you got me there. And then I got out of bed and I was just like, all right, looks like we going. And like me being the tryhard, like I'm just trying to make a good impression. And I was like, I put on my shirt, I put on my shorts, I put tights on,
Ooh,
like those
baby.
leggings, because I was just like, I'm about to go hard. And the cake or the cherry on top was I brought cleats. It was so unnecessary. I was like, I can't, man.
Dude,
I can't.
you gotta flex on them though.
No, honestly, I look pretty good, man. If you saw the pictures of me, I swear. But like it was like I wore like black shorts. It was just like, I think it was like pinkish red tights
dang.
with a yellow shirt, and then like my green and orange Nike Elites.
Oh.
From like middle school.
Oh.
Brings me back, bro. But yeah, no, but okay, so like I walk there and I'm like, what's the SAC? And then I'm like, I look it up and I ask my roommates and they're just like, oh, it's the Student Activity Center. And I'm just like, that's a dumb name. The SAC. That's gross. So then we meet there and then like no one is there. Like, cause I get there like 15 minutes early, but like, if y'all know out there what Filipino time is,
Oh yeah.
Filipino time is like take the time and like add 20 minutes. So like they told us to meet there at like noon or something or like 1, and then like I got there at like 11:45, and I saw no one. So I walk in the SAC, I get Chick-fil-A, I walk back out, no one is there, and it's like 12:20,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, where is everybody at? And then this short little girl walks up. She's just like, are you in Tupac? And I'm like, yeah. And then she's just like, are you a freshman? And I was just like, yeah. And she's just like, okay, cool. So am I. Where is everybody? And I was just like, I don't know, but
here we are.
okay. And then like at like 5 minutes after that, it was just like people started rolling in. They're like, hey, you in Tupac? And I'm just like, yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm in Tupac. And then I like met the e-board and stuff like that. And then we walked there. I met my future kuya, which is like my big. I met my future kuya on the way there. We started playing frisbee together, and it was great. So I guess it was just like a match made in heaven right there. Like it was just like perfect the way it turned out. But yeah, and then like once we got there, they were so chill. They were just like, yo, AJ, go do this. And I'm like, haha, I bet. Cause like I'm just like trying to make friends, and I don't want to like make waves or like I didn't want smoke at that point, you know? So then I just met everybody that I could, and then like the cherry on top for that point was just like at the end when one of the people on e-board was just like, hey AJ, let me get your number real quick, and I'm just like, okay, bet. And then like, cause like that was just the point where I was just like, I have just made friends today.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's dope. dude.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, and then he texted me later that night. He's just like, hey, yo, me and the boys wanted to go get food or dinner sometime. You should come hang out with us. And I'm just like, yes. Heck yeah.
I want to be one of the boys.
I'm one of the boys. Yeah. But yeah, and then now me and that guy are really close. I'm close with a lot of those people in Tupac, but I was just been blessed with having these people that are so good at like being accepting and like teaching me all of these things to like be more accepting and like be nice to everybody around me. But yeah, how was your first few times going to VSA?
Okay, so my first few times going to VSA was like it was near the end of first semester.
Yeah.
So
How was it in the beginning of the semester?
It was
Like, did you pay your dues and stuff?
Yeah, I did everything, bro. I paid my dues. I went to every single GBM, like general body meeting. I did everything. I just didn't go to any other event.
I mean, going to the GBMs is more than a lot of people, man.
I know, but like it was like during the first semester, I was like, yo, these guys don't know how to organize an event.
Your ECs were
yeah,
not good.
or they were pretty good, but it was just more of like I saw more activity in my other club, so I gravitated towards that because I wanted
more.
I wanted to feel more included and stuff like that.
Because GBMs were enough. Like, what did you guys do in your GBMs?
Dude, that was like
Was it just PowerPoints?
Yes, it's very structured. Vietnamese people are very structured, but like, we go through every single position, and then like they announce their stuff, and then after that, like we like do like icebreaker games in the middle of like announcements of every single like thing. So it was GBMs weren't the end all be all. Like you would need to go out to different events to really appreciate VSA.
And like what other events were like parties?
Yeah, it was like
social
gathering. Like welcome back, social gathering.
No, but like besides those, like what else was there?
There were like for culture wise, there was things called like chow houses where there was supposed to be quote unquote like cultural lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But mostly it was a get together with like people bringing food, play games. So those are really relaxed and fun. But
you wouldn't play games at the GVMs?
No, not really.
So for ours, we would make it like by the end of the semester, it would be like learn about the culture. Games. All right.
Yeah.
So there was this one where like we were like learning about how like Filipino women can be successful too, and like not just be like a nurse or an engineer or something like that.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, like they had people come in. There was like a restaurant owner. There was like a person in production, like film production. It was really cool, and I enjoyed it. Like not to be like sexist or anything. I enjoyed it a lot because like not only. Like, I don't know. It's just like I like seeing people of my culture be successful. So like I really enjoyed that. But then when it came really fun was like we played a game called Ships and Sailors. Do you know what Ships and Sailors is?
Shoot, I feel like we played it in Scouts.
Okay, so like there would be like these different gestures. So like you would like salute for one thing. If they said like a word, you'd have to do the corresponding so there's like a salute, there's like a sit down and like row the boat. Yeah. And then there's like I don't know, it's just like weird. We've only played it once and I was so mad because like that was the best game ever. But that was like once we started playing, that's when me and this guy named Ian, he's like one of my better friends in Tupac. That's when we started to get close. And I don't know, like okay, so me and Ian, we were like because our kuyas were best friends. Yeah. So, like, we were, like, slated to be best friends. But, it was, like, I don't know. It was just, I don't really have best friends. I mean, not to out you, Ian. But, like, I don't really have best friends. So, like, you know.
but you're a close friend.
We're pretty close. But yeah, that's when we came really close. And then we also did another thing, which I really loved. There's this thing called a privilege circle. Do you know what a privilege circle is?
No, I don't.
All right. So everybody gets in a circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they say these different scenarios. So like take a step forward if this happens. So like some examples of like were like take a step forward if you were ever ashamed of your culture.
I know about this.
Yeah. So like take a step forward if you were ashamed of what you were eating for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Take a step forward if your parents don't know how to speak English. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like the people in like the far middle would like be the most privileged or something, or like the least privileged or something. But like that was like very eye-opening for me because like it was when I like open like you're supposed to close your eyes and like take a step forwards and backs. But that was the most eye-opening thing for me because it like helped me realize how privileged I was. Even though like in a Caucasian standard, it's like not privileged at all.
Yeah.
Like I drive a 1999 Toyota Sienna.
Yeah.
But like based on like everybody else, they're like their parents. Like I'm like I had the privilege of being like I'm pretty sure I'm second generation because my grandparents moved here. And then my so like my grandma on my dad's side moved here and my dad grew up here from like 6th grade or something. And then my mom like grew up in the Philippines, went to college in the Philippines, and then came here. So I think I'm second generation.
I guess.
Like I'm like half second generation.
I think you probably still count as. I don't want to get anything wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
But I do think that you're actually first generation still because your parents, because you're.
Like my dad went to Air Force Academy, so like he was.
So was he like? But he was still born.
Am I first generation because I was born here?
I think you are.
Okay.
That's probably the biggest thing because like, was your dad born in the Philippines?
He was born in the Philippines and moved here. Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm still first generation. Oh well, the more you know.
But, we may be wrong though.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Any like watch you be like third generation, we're gonna be like, God, we did not get that right.
No, someone's gonna like DM me and be like, yo, you're stupid.
No.
But back on topic, being a first or second generation, like I was pretty privileged because my dad knew like the school systems.
Yeah.
And like he was just like, you need to do this to succeed. And I'm like, in some ways it was all good. And then like looking back now on the way my dad raised me, I was just like, this is a really Caucasian way of raising a kid.
Yeah.
Even though like we were still in touch with our Filipino heritage, like it was very like white. Like it was very whitewashed. Like my dad, like now that he's like in his middle age, he wants to like go on a trip to see the national parks. Like, is that not the most Caucasian thing you've ever heard? Like, ever?
It's okay. My dad does the same thing. It's like Caucasian, but at the same time, you have like the Asian tourist dad.
But we're into photography, so that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty Caucasian, but like I'd be pretty into it, like in terms of photography, not like taking in the nature because you know. There's bugs outside.
We love mosquitoes.
No, but anyways, just being like a second generation or first generation American or Asian American, I was put a step forward, like not ahead, but just like I was given more privileges, in terms of like the ease of growing up, because for those with parents who didn't grow up, here, they just don't know anything, or like they don't know much.
Yeah.
So like they're like. They barely know how to do like college essays. Like I would not have gotten through my college process if not only my sister doing it before me, but like my dad like telling me what to do all the time. Like I hated it at the time, but like I cannot be more grateful for like everything that he told me. Like he's just like get your applications in like 3 months early so that you don't forget about it. And I'm just like, yeah, that's like the best thing ever. Like I was so on time with everything. Like for my sister, she would like cry because she couldn't get an essay done, and my dad's just like, you're not gonna be like this, right? And I was just like, no. And that's just like my MO. That's just like me, like not wanting anything to be late. But I just like I'm so appreciative of how like the privileges I've been given, just like from my parents already knowing everything, and like. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. Like my dad is just. He's pretty hard on me. He has like the hard nature of a traditional Filipino dad, but then he's also like very
but he like
He like understands.
he educated you through the Caucasian way by using the techniques of
Yo,
a Filipino dad.
I don't want to say this, but like I'm pretty sure it's just because he was in the military.
Oh, that
Yeah,
makes sense, yeah.
like he wouldn't like beat us. That's like a traditional Filipino.
Yeah.
He made us run, bro.
Oh, that's
Like
so
like he made us. He just made us
bad.
run, and he's just like, "Are you tired yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's just like, "Well, 2 more laps." Like if you look outside there at that driveway going up and
Yeah.
down, each like lap, like
Mhm.
one way up, that's 0.1, back down 0.1. So he made me run like I'm pretty sure he made me run like 40 once.
Yikes.
And not only is it boring, like, but you also have to deal with like your neighbors coming out and like, "Hey AJ, what are you doing?" And I'm just like, "I'm running." And I'm like tears going down my face, or like I'm really angry and I don't want to talk to anyone. And then they're just like, "What are you doing?" And then I'm like, "Running." And then they're like, "Why?" And then I'm like, "My dad made me."
I got in trouble.
Yeah. So like yeah. But anyways, it's just like the way I was raised was very like it was a very mixed. Even though like I'm full Filipino, like both of my parents are Filipino. It was a very mixed like way of being raised.
Yeah.
And like going off of that, how would you describe your upbringing?
It was like for me, so I don't think I got the luxury like you because I'm the first child of our.
Oh yeah,
of
yeah,
my,
no, yeah. Yeah,
of my
let me just
family.
say, my sister, yo, she's a saint, yeah.
like not to bash on anything because you had it pretty rough, but like the first sibling is always the experiment, dude.
Always.
The experiment.
Yo, I mean, okay, so you didn't do too bad.
I didn't do too bad.
Neither did my sister. My sister
Yeah.
did crazy.
Yeah,
she went off. Like go off, sis.
Like your sister definitely did better than me.
No, I mean we're not measuring
Yeah.
here. But
No, but yeah, but like as like the first sibling, or as the first like of their child, they were my dad did help raise my cousin.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So again, like even though I'm the first child, he did take it a little bit easier on me than my cousin, but it was very little. Like he like, again, he wouldn't beat me, but like he would like,
he'd give you a stern talking
yeah,
to.
he would like stern talk me, and then he'd make me like kneel on like the wooden floor for like 20 minutes.
I'm just glad we don't like have a dominant tree in the back, because I know if my dad had the opportunity, he'd tie me up in like a carpet or like a rug.
Oh my god.
That's what my grandma did to my dad.
Oh,
So like
no.
he'd put me in a carpet and or like a blanket. Thank you. Sorry, I literally could not think of that for my life. But he like tie me up in a rug, and then just put me up there. Like,
Yeah.
oh
yeah.
god, that.
No, but like it was mostly like for me, I think the best punishment that I like
The best?
but like the most effective punishment for me
Yeah.
was my dad always being disappointed in me.
Yo,
The
okay.
disappointment talks was
That
the
made me.
worst.
That made me angry, bro. I'm like, if you're mad, just say it.
Yeah, like he would just like, I just remember like back when like I could not control my temper at all.
Me too. Me too.
He would. It was probably like a yelling contest where like I would yell at him, and then like he would yell back at me for like yelling back at him, and then I'd cry like a baby.
Yo, when you're a kid and you're just yelling without like
Yeah.
any like at some point you're gonna lose direction. Like
Yeah.
you know how like when you're driving and if you go too fast you like kind of skid.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like that's how it is for a little kid.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're yelling at your dad for something because something isn't going your way, you're like, I want this, and then when he just like probes and probes and probes,
Yeah.
you're just like.
and then I remember every single time when I was younger, I would cry, and then it was mostly he would mostly reprehend me or like yell
Reprimand?
or, like, reprimand. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because of like my grades or because I was acting up or something like that. Like it was like normal Asian people stuff, but like just like usually what parents are normally mad about.
Yeah.
Right? But it was more like I had it where I didn't. How do I say it? I didn't have it easy, but at the same time, compared to like our other generations, so like his generation and
Yeah.
then like the generation
Yo,
before that.
we're cupcakes, bro.
Yeah, we're like we're super mild. And then my sister too. My sister, like, she's the favorite child. All right. So my sister, the youngest child, and I say this all the time. I feel like every single time you have a younger sibling, like in a pair of two,
Yeah,
the younger one's always the favorite.
always. It's not even a question.
Yeah, but like she has it so easy. Like I would never hang out with friends because I was always afraid that my dad would be like no. So like I would just never hang out with anyone. I would never ask anyone to hang out,
Me
or
too.
when someone asked to hang out, I'd just be like, I have homework.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
yeah, like so. But my sister, she goes out with her friends all the time and stuff like that. But like so, I think it's a generation thing where just each generation kind of gets softer and softer.
Yeah.
And but like for me, like my upbringing, it was tough, like quote unquote tough. But then when like by the time I grew older, like the stern talks were less and less. But that was just because I was maturing as a person.
Yeah.
It was more like he wouldn't yell at me because of school anymore. He'd yell at me because like, oh, have you gotten this or that done yet? Or like, why aren't you helping around the house? You're old enough to help around the house now.
Yeah.
It was like it's stuff where like going to college, I realized how much my parents have done for me.
Yeah, me too.
So I understand why they yelled at me during that time.
Okay, so I do have a question for you that I've wanted to ask for a while, like in this duration of the podcast. But did your parents ever give you the talk of, like, if you're gonna act like this, why did we move here?
Yes. Yeah. Or it wasn't more like that. It was more like we came here
For you.
like to have like a better life. Yeah, exactly. Like I moved to the house I'm in now because my dad wanted to go through the Woodson system.
Yeah.
He based his entire living situation on buying that house and like everything based just because he wanted to send his kids towards this exact school system.
Yeah,
I was
and like
what?
back in the day, Woodson was the best.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, like we moved here in what, like 2007, 2008. Like Woodson was like top of the line. And obviously it's declined because Woodson is Woodson.
Yeah.
But like nonetheless, like FCPS is one of the best in the nation.
Yeah.
So like my dad had like a few options but where to move because he was in the military, so he was moving around a lot. Not a lot. Like we were in Sunnyvale, California. So like we were basically in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And I just found out our old house was $1 million.
Ah, nice. Nice.
But anyways, like he had so many options of where to go, and he was just like, we picked here because like they could have lived in Vienna, like as long as it was like close proximity to DC, it didn't matter because my dad worked at the Pentagon. But like it would not, like we would not be here if Woodson wasn't here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, cause he just like he knew he wanted like he looked at everything. Like my dad's just like that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So he like did his research. He like I didn't see it when I was a kid, but he was like on his laptop and just like.
Yeah, no, my dad's the same. Like,
Yeah.
always has to do research.
Yo, always, every single time, and I'm just like, Dad, I did the research already. He's just like, I haven't done it.
But they never trust you. They never trust you to do their own research.
Yeah, like if okay, so like we're getting off topic, like, but I just want to say, like when I brought my first iPad, I was just like, Dad, I did the research. He's just like, haha, no. And I'm like, all right, fine, just I have the money sitting here. I'll just wait. But okay, anyways, but we could have been living in Vienna, and Vienna's like a really nice place, but like it's not like Woodson.
Oh yeah, it's not.
It's not like here. I feel like we got the best. Like, cause if I grew up in Vienna, I'd be like a snooty kid, bro. Like I'd be like driving around in like 1990.
While everyone else
is driving around in a Tesla
or like Mercedes.
Like there was one guy at our school that like crashed his Tesla, and then like he came back the next day in a Mercedes. So we still had those kinds of kids, but like it was a lot more like based. It was more down to earth. Like there was like a lot more Honda Civics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Toyota Camrys, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
The base cars, man.
Yeah, like the basics. But yeah, no, like we were definitely just like our lives were handed to us on a silver platter, and it was hard for us to see it as kids. Like not like I think as Asian Americans, cause like it was like for me as a kid, it was hard for me to appreciate what my parents did for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm about to cry, man. Like this, like this hurts.
Yeah.
Like when I look back at how I acted as a kid and how I treated my parents,
Mhm.
yo, there's no way that I can repay them.
Yeah, no, I agree with the same thing. Like, I would like, God, yeah. Now I'm in my feelings.
Yeah.
But like, I like again like I just got back. Like we both just got back from like the first year at off of college, right?
Mhm.
And like every single night, I really remember like even in senior year too. Like every single night, I'd always tell my like parents like good night, you know.
You
And
don't
like
do that anymore.
no, but like and like I do that still, but like
Yeah.
I always add like oh I love you.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's something I learned in college too. That was just like, you never know if you're gonna see the person you just
Yeah.
talked to again.
Yeah.
Like life is just like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't do that as much, but I should.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you were gonna add on to something.
Like especially when I was in college, they would call me, right? And every single time like they would call me, like saying it's also like a weird thing like in Asian Americans where we like our generation, we don't say like no one says I love you.
Yo, ain't no.
Yeah,
I
no
got.
one- like
I only got that because my dad was like pretty much Caucasian. like I got that I every night I got like my mom wouldn't do it as much because I don't know, she's just lazy. But like I know I'm her favorite. You know. But anyways, like I'd be in my bed like with my iPod Nano watching TV shows or something, and then my dad would always come in, give me a kiss and say good night, kiddo,
Yeah.
and then go back.
Yeah.
Yo. Oh, I'm gonna cry, bro.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, and then I went to college and I'm like, yo, not everybody got that.
yeah, it's like in my family, no one said I loved you.
Mm-mm.
Like and it was just, and like I'm talking about like not just like my me, like everyone, like all my cousins and everything like that. Like our parents, it was like their love was tough love. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Their love is like physical,
exactly.
not
It's-
not verbal.
Yeah, like they will like my like I let my mom and like my dad I let them kiss me all the time. Right? like on the
Yeah,
cheek and stuff
yeah,
like that
yeah.
because
No,
that's
Tom
that's
Brady
their
stuff.
yeah no because that's like their way of being affectionate to you. Yeah, they like we've never said I love you until the first time I said it on the phone, because like every single time I say it, they say it back.
Yeah.
But it's never them who says it because we weren't raised like that.
Yeah, for
You know?
me it was a little bit different because like me and my sister would say it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And like especially since my sister went off to college
Yeah.
and I was like alone in the house. I was like, love you, ate.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, love you too. And then I didn't notice this until I went off to college, but like when my parents left, like after dropping me off, they were just like, we love you, AJ. And I was just
Yeah.
like, y'all
Yeah.
killing me right now.
Yeah. It's
No,
like,
but honestly, I was too tired to like cry about it. I was
Yeah.
like after moving in, I was just
Yeah.
like, but like love is something that's like really hard to show for Asian Americans,
mhm.
and like I'm kind of glad that like it is like that.
Yeah, because like when you actually say the words,
It means so
it
much
means
more.
so much more. Yeah, exactly.
So like we love like okay, so like this is why like for me I wanted my like relationship to be real. I'm like not messing around. Like I'm not just trying to have someone to be with just to
Mhm.
be with her.
yeah.
Like I like love means a lot and I'm not going to say I love you unless I mean it. It's like I think it's that the way I was raised that's like love means so much more.
Yeah.
And like I haven't thought about it until now, but like that's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
why I think that way.
Yeah. It's like I don't have any experience in that, no, but like no, it could derive from that because like I mean it's just the way that our parents are, you know.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
And like you gain the most knowledge from your experience, and like the first 18 years of your life is with your parents, so you're practically they practically mold you into who you are, and then from that mold you like become the person that you want to be.
Yeah. Yo, endgame quote. Everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. What's the second part?
Oh shoot, I don't remember, dude.
Ah, God, I'm gonna look it up. But it's like it was like the mom talking to Thor.
Yeah.
And she was just like, everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. The measure of a person. Oh gosh.
I just remember her saying Thor. Time has not done it.
Yo, okay, so everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. She says the measure of a person, a hero, is how they succeed at being who they are.
Yeah.
Yo, that's like, that hit me too.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it in the theater and I was just like, yo, her name is Frigga, which is kind of funny. Like, I was like, Frigga, you got me.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's being Asian American is it's a experience that I don't think I would ever give up.
It's not like we can.
Yeah,
Like,
but
okay, but
like, if I was able to pick my race, dude,
yo, I
it'd
would
definitely be white. It'd definitely be Caucasian.
Yo, okay, so
Caucasian people are so good.
I didn't think it was gonna get to this, but I'm gonna say it real quick, just for the people who don't know and for the people in the back who aren't listening. The color of your skin, so white. Yo, white privilege is white privilege, man. It doesn't matter if you're gay, lesbian, like if you're poor, rich. White privilege is white privilege.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even matter like where you come from. But like, I don't want to get into that because that's like very political.
Yeah.
And I don't like.
No, but it's true. It's like, I mean, it's like your skin color is basis like your skin color has a lot of stigmas and stereotypes to it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pause you right there.
Yeah.
While at my new job, there was a guy and we had this thing called Heart Share, and where we just talk about like ourselves, and like he was talking about his race, so he's African American.
Yeah.
And he's just like he's the only African American there, and he said, sometimes I feel like the color of my skin is like an unspoken contract that I signed to represent my race.
Yeah.
So like that hit me because I was just like, that's been me my whole life, and like I haven't been doing it justice at all. Like I used to suppress it when I was at school because I was just like, no one else here will understand, so I'll have no friends.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand, dude. That's actually the reason why I joined VSA.
Me too.
Yo,
me too.
right?
Yo,
Yeah.
Tupac was like my outlet. It was not. It was like mainly supposed like to help me make friends. I just spit. But it was mainly supposed to help me make friends, but it was also for me to like learn about like where I came from, because like the people would be like, hey, where are your parents from? And I'd be like, I don't know, like which is so like it's so bad. Like I know everything about my dad like in America, but like when it goes back, I'm like, I don't know. And then like the place that I thought it was, apparently that was like where he only like vacationed. Like I was just like, whoa. I learned so much about like, cause then like once the conversation started at Tupac, then the conversation started with my family, and then they just like opened up to me. So I was just like, that's great. Like I love learning about my culture now.
Yeah. Like so so like going back to like VSA in college, I started VSA. I started being super active in VSA during Culture Show. So Culture Show is practically a demonstration of Vietnamese. It's quote unquote a demonstration of Vietnamese culture through the students, where we put on a show and we do traditional dances and stuff like that. And we tell a story and everything like that.
Do you do anything other than traditional dances?
Traditional dances. We do like traditional dances, traditional fashion shows. We do like
Okay.
modern dances.
Yeah. So like we
like-
had a similar thing, but it was like our Miss D5.
Yeah.
Which was like it was basically a pageant, but it had all the same things of like you had to do like some sort of art performance or something, and then and like there was this really good one where she was just like she was like acting out how it is going to a Filipino party, like a family party. It was so sick. It was so funny. Shout out Ariana. But yeah, it was just really sick. But yeah, keep going. Sorry for interrupting.
So like no, it's all good. But like that culture show was like practically the thing that really pulled me in, and like going through all of that, like
with other people.
Yeah, with other people and stuff like that. I was like, wow. Like, first off, like the show was like, woo. It was a mess sometimes, but like it really brought a lot of like a lot of my close friends close to me, because like again like I have a mixture of friends where it's VSA and like dance team.
Yeah.
But like now I can say that like it's not separate anymore. Like I can just practically just be like, oh yeah, do you remember him? He's like from VSA and stuff like that, and like he would join into other stuff and everything like that. But it really brought me close to new friends,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
that I didn't expect to make because it's the second semester already.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but after going through everything like that, I realized that it's my turn to put in work for my culture. Like my culture has done so much for me. It's time for me to do something for my culture.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me. But like we didn't have culture show or anything like that. Like we had a gala, but like I wasn't really a part of it because that was more of an e-board type thing.
Yeah,
So like the only way for me to like give back in a way is for me to join e-board, which I am now. Shout out Tupac.
Hey,
I'm event coordinator now.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
No flex, no flex. But yeah, no, literally like Tupac has literally done the most for me, and it like something that I never could have expected to ever happen. But I'm really grateful for the things that it actually did for me, and now I'm like very appreciative of like Tupac was the reason why I appreciate everything that's happened before me, like not just in my life but before. Like whenever my grandmas would tell me stories, I'd just be like, cool.
Yeah.
But like now I'm just like, oh my god, that's like insane. Like my grandma took showers during World War II, y'all. That's insane. Like she saw the planes. Like that's insane. So like just to like on a closing note, if you had any advice for people like of all ages who are growing up in a place where like they're not really accepted, like this doesn't even have to be about race, like it can be about just like personality stuff like that. If you had any advice for people to try and embrace themselves or be themselves in that sense, what would you say to them?
So like, I'd first say like learn about your culture, and like culture nowadays doesn't just mean race, you know?
Yeah, no,
Like,
it does not. No,
it doesn't
absolutely not.
like back then it was just like, oh, culture. It's like, oh, I'm Asian American, but now culture can be like LGBT and like just like a whole bunch of other stuff. I can't think of the top of my head.
Like where are you from? Like
Yeah.
like where did you grow up?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like what'd you do as a kid? Like
It's like culture is so broad. The term is so broad now.
Yeah.
But like, if you don't, it's like going back to your question. Like, I feel like learning about your culture, learning about who you are and your culture, is the first step of finding the place where you need to be.
Yeah.
You know, I picked like, I don't like in my I think this might go a little bit off tangent, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to tie it in. I picked my school because I wanted to be an educator,
Yeah.
right? So all the schools that I applied to had a education program that allowed me to excel
Yeah.
in education,
Yeah.
right? So I picked these things. I picked my life path based on what I wanted to do and based on practically my culture.
Yeah.
Something that makes me who I am. So I feel like if you know who you are and you have a deep knowledge of who you are and who you want to be, like cultural wise, then it doesn't matter if right now you feel like out of place or anything like that, because for me, I felt I felt like, I don't want to say in my element, but I felt comfortable in Northern Virginia because I had so many people from like my same culture. But like you said, like you suppressed that part of yourself towards your high school days because you didn't have an outlet.
Yeah. Like there were not many Asian swimmers or like
Yeah.
Filipino people in band. Like
Yeah.
it was just like I was the minority, whatever I did.
But then going into Tupac, it's like it's totally different.
It's insane, like seeing how like this is a joke, but like it's for real. Like it's insane, like thinking you're short your whole life, but then walking into a room with people of similar heights. Like that's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like Filipino people are short. Like I'm 5'8" or 5'9", depending on how you look at it.
Depending on gravity.
Depending on if my hair is up that day. But yeah, like I'm short everywhere. Like I go to swim practice, I'm short. I go to school, I'm short. But then like I walk into Tupac and I'm like one of the tallest people there, and I'm like, that's sick, yo.
Nice.
But yeah, no, but just to wrap everything up in a nice little bow, if I were to give anybody advice to just like try to embrace themselves, because it's really hard, like trying to be yourself when so many people are trying to tell you or like force you to assimilate. If I were to say anything, just know that like the place that you're in right now is not the end all be all. Like high school ends, middle school ends, college ends. Like your time at whatever place you work ends. Like you don't have to like play this sport. You can quit the sport. Like if people don't accept you, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
And that's something that I developed in senior year of high school, where I was just like, I kind of made a 3-strike system, where I was just like, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times.
Yeah.
Then you out.
True.
Like then I'm not spending any more time, because like I give everything I have into each relationship that I develop. So I just like, if that same energy is not given back to me, then what's the point in me investing so much into you?
Yeah.
You know, which is why me and Vu have been such good friends.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we just like you have not hit that strike system yet, sir.
Let's go.
No, I'm just kidding. I got rid of the strike system once I got to college, but that's also why I chose Temple, because there were so many people that just did me so wrong in high school that I just wanted to get away from it. And look where I am now. I'm super happy. Like, I love being myself. Like being yourself is like the best feeling you could ever have, ever, man. Like
Definitely.
there's no better feeling when you can just say, I'm gonna do this today, and I don't care what anybody says about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of the podcast today. This has been Lifeline with AJ. Vincent isn't here today, but he'll be here eventually. Just there's just a lot of scheduling conflicts. But I'm AJ.
I'm Vu.
Thank you, Vu, for being our guest today.
Of course.
But
Thank you
yeah.
for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, y'all.